There is a manner of speech that faith delivers to us.
Right.
If we don't speak like this, then there's no light in us. That's what the Bible says.
Okay.
So it's if you're stuttering, if it is not very clear, if you don't say it articulately with
Right.
confidence,
Right.
then there's every chance that you're not in faith.
That's true.
That's if challenges come, like you just bring into the marketplace now, and you're looking at the indices and checking all of that, and you're looking at the biological stuff and the political stuff and all of that. If you begin to consider the external things that are around you, and you allow those things to condition the way you speak, then there's every chance that your faith has been impacted negatively. That is what I'm seeing here. That central to our faith is our manner of speech.
Right.
The way we conduct ourselves, the way we carry ourselves in the face of shifting sands. When times and seasons are changing on you, when the elements begin to blow contrary, when the wind is blowing, when it's being boisterous, and all the factors that support certain things that you're trusting God for are no more there. We were saying something last week, that the factors might change, but God does not change. So it should not affect the way you speak. Once you begin to adjust your vision, you begin to adjust the promises of God to conform to the things on the outside, then your manner of speech has been affected.
The reason why our speech changes, for those of us who are in the marketplace, is that we are not only intimidated by what we see, we are intimidated by what other people make about what we see. But we don't realize that faith is creative. It is creative. You see, the word encourage means place on courage. And the truth of the matter is that the reason why men's hearts fail is because they lose courage. The Bible says that my heart would have failed lest I believe to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. This speaks to hope that you were talking about when I walked in. The reason why you will continue along a path is because you know where the information you were relying upon came from.
Yes, sir.
The data.
You know who spoke, who inspired you into action. And you see, my challenge, and you find that when I have the opportunity to speak here, my focus was on the marketplace, is really, we think that faith only resides in church.
No, we build it in church and we find expression outside.
This is my point, Pastor. My point is that you encourage us on Sunday, on Thursdays, but we need to encourage ourselves on Monday. Because you are not there, sir.
True.
Right? And what encourages us is not necessarily what our pastor says.
Right.
It's what our pastor has confirmed or called forth in us. Because we need our private faith. Even if it is working on Monday because we just came from Sunday, we need it on Tuesday and on Wednesday before service
Thursday.
on Thursday.
Where is service again?
So we need to be able to encourage ourselves in the Lord like David did. The Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord not to go to church but to go to battle. Right? We need to do that, but David was able to do that because he knew he was on assignment. He had, by the age of 17, he had been anointed king of Israel. And king means you are responsible for the security of people and provisions. And they came to your town and stole your provisions and violated your people. So what makes you a king? So he had to encourage himself and go back and recover, but not before God said that you will recover all. And my message to you I'm preaching now is you will recover all.
Amen.
You see, we have to recognize, like it's saying here, look, now those people who talk as they did show plainly that they are in search of another country. We are talking about another government. The Bible says of Jesus that the government will be on his shoulders. We are being called to run a parallel government based on the things that we see. And we must have faith to see it out. You see, what I'm calling forth is crazy faith. Crazy.
Yeah, I think when you are in faith, like you said, it must affect your conversation. It must be plain. It must be deliberate. It must be loud.
You know, so faith is evidence by the way you speak.
Yes, sir.
He said, with the heart man believes.
Yes, unto righteousness.
With the mouth, confession is made unto the things that you.
That's
It must impact on your speech.
That's true.
You know, when Joshua and Caleb and the other guys came back, they started saying that we can do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We are able. The other guys say we can't.
As a matter of fact, sir.
So the state of faith, so faith must impact on the way you speak. And you know, you are not just, you are saying it with confidence. When people hear you, they'll say, this one is mad. So the whole nation said, no, we followed the majority report. We followed, and you see, the majority report has brought Nigeria to where it is now. So, you know, so the majority can be wrong. You know, I say, when it comes to democracy doesn't mean that's the mind of God.
True.
But as lovers of democracy, we accept whatever comes out of that process. But if you now go back to the Bible and follow democracy, 10 people came back out of 12, they said they can't. The whole nation said they are right. And because that nation believed and they plugged into that error, everything went down. Everything went down with what they were saying. So it's very, very important that we are very mindful of these things, that we do not allow the way people react to determine the state of our faith. Femi, we're going to say something.
Well, I think, again, sir, you stressed something very important about the way we speak when we walk, operate in faith. And we must also bear in mind that, yes, God speaks, but one thing we must never forget, it's very simple, it's out there in the open. We hear it every now and then, is that God is limited, as it were, by our confessions, the things that we say. So even if, you know, let's take Mary for instance. Until Mary said, be it unto me according to, you know, your word. Let it be unto thy servant according to your word. Until she said that in herself, the seed that the Lord had intended to plant in her, that word that God had intended to bring to pass in her, could never have happened. You know, and you were sharing the other day on Sunday, sir, when you talked about Zechariah's experience, where the angel had to make him dumb. Otherwise, the things he would say with his mouth will abort the process. Draw a contrast with the experience of the Israelites in the wilderness. God had made a promise. They were going to go back to the place where God had promised their father in the first place. But then they stepped out of there, and when certain challenges started coming, they were like, oh, we wish we would go back and eat the onion and garlic that we used to have in Egypt and all those things.
But that was the problem with the children of Israel when they were in the wilderness. They were mindful, they were too mindful of Egypt. Their mind could not retain the new thought God was giving to them. But the fathers of faith here, they were so into this thing that their mind, he said truly, if they had been mindful of that country where they came, they would have gone back. But the reason why they did not go back was that they kept their mind. It was the state of their mind. So when in faith, the state of your mind is critical. So one of the cardinal elements when it comes to faith is the state of your mind. So the state of your mind determines whether you will stay in faith or you go outside of faith. The state of your mind will determine whether you are going to continue living in faith or that faith will be destroyed. You know, that's why I told Peter, he said, I have prayed for you that your faith faileth not. So the thing with these fathers was that even death will not kill their faith because they kept their minds.
Holy Hill Church. Be different.